So the vlog begins a few minutes after midnight in Perth, Western Australia. This is obviously at Perth International Airport, and actually this time around I decided to try the Aspire Lounge, which is one of the lounges that is available at Perth Airport, and I actually got in here for cheap using my Revolut card. For those of you that don't know what the Revolut card is, make sure to watch one of my shorts that I've made about that. And basically it's just a travel card that gives you discounts and gives you airport lounge access at discounted pricing. So this is a tour of the Aspire Lounge. It's actually one of the better lounges that I've been in, simply because it is still new. So a lot of the amenities and a lot of the facilities are pretty much brand new, but the only problem with it is that it's quite small. But overall it was a decent-ish experience, and I'm definitely not complaining, because with my Revolut card I basically only paid 37 Australian dollars to be able to access this lounge, which is an absolute steal. So if you guys want to get lounge access for super cheap, make sure to get onto Revolut. It is an amazing service. So this is us boarding. This is actually my first time trying Batik Air. I'd never tried Batik Air, which is a Indonesian airline, and it's supposedly a budget airline.
Here we go. 4-hour flight. Let's get it.
So I was a little bit skeptical because I've never really flown budget before. I was actually pleasantly surprised. It was actually a pretty good flight. The food wasn't great, but obviously it is a budget airline. You probably shouldn't be expecting food on a budget airline, right? And to my surprise, the plane was actually empty and I had the whole row to myself. Catch you later, Peace City. So this is just after we landed in Jakarta. This was about 5 a.m. in the morning. I was super tired. First thing I did was just hop into a Grab and go straight to the Airbnb that I had booked. First impressions of Jakarta were that it's a lot more populous than what I'm used to. A lot more cars, a lot more people on the streets. Yeah, quite interesting. This is the place that I was staying at, and this was at the Taman Anggrek Residences Tower. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this was the Daffodil Building. These are amazing high-rise apartments, and they've got this like main centerpiece in the middle of them all with a massive pool and I think spa facilities there. It was just amazing. I cannot complain about my Airbnb, and here is a quick room tour. So the place that I got was basically just a small apartment with a 1-bedroom. Look, it wasn't bad. It's small, but you know, obviously this being such a high-rise tower, you'd expect apartments to generally be quite small here. But I really wasn't complaining because this was super cheap. I think I paid something like 50 Australian dollars per night for it. It was literally the bargain of the century, and I cannot complain about my stay at the Taman Anggrek Residences. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The view was just amazing. I remember just waking up here every morning and just looking down at that massive pool and those palm trees and everything. It was just bliss. I ended up just spending the rest of the afternoon asleep, simply because I was super tired. I'm one of those people that can never sleep on the plane, so I had a lot of catching up to do in terms of my sleep. Later on that night, we ended up going to the Taman Anggrek Mall, which is basically right next door to where I was staying, and we went to the Sate Khas Senayan restaurant. And thanks to my friend Luki, who is a Jakarta local, who took me around and showed me all the cool places, showed me all the food spots and all the good places to go to. I really thank her for that. I basically just ordered a duck dish, some satay chicken, and yeah, of course I had to have that coconut water. You know how we do coconut water everywhere I go, guys. And this is when the food came out. Quite interesting. Lots of colors on the plate, lots of different sort of like flavors, and you know, a lot of things going on. But it was actually a very decent meal, and we literally finished everything that was on the table, and it was really good. Luki had the beef soup, I believe, which was sort of like oxtail in there. It was really good. So this is me walking out of the Taman Anggrek Mall, which is a really massive mall, by the way. I was just surprised that it was open so late at night. but you know, this is Jakarta, and I guess a lot of cities in Southeast Asia don't sleep, which is a good thing, especially for a person that's coming from Australia. So we decided to go to Central Park Mall. Weird thing with how Jakarta is structured. So this is on the way to Central Park, and you've just got these hidden places where you've got all these scooters and bikes all parked up, like thousands of them. And it's sort of like hidden from all, you know, the major high-rise towers. So it's a Central Park Mall, and they've got like some really nice luxury brands in there. They've got Dior, and it's a really nice mall, to be honest. Spent the rest of the night just walking around, and then after that, I basically ended up going back to my Airbnb and grabbing some sleep. Day 2 starts off with a very delicious breakfast that I bought on Grab. Here's the thing with Grab, guys. I've spoken about this in my Thai vlog. Basically, Grab is like the Uber of a lot of Southeast Asian countries. You can book cars, you can buy food on there. And the thing with it is it's super addictive if you're like a tourist and you're like visiting, because it is so cheap. So on this day, I actually ended up checking out of my Airbnb at Taman Anggrek residences, and I actually went to check into another Airbnb at Capital Suites. And this is just a room tour, and as you can see, it's not quite an apartment, it's more like a studio, so it was a lot smaller. Later that evening, my good friend Uki took me to a place called Ancol, which is close to the beach, and we wanted to have dinner at a new spot called Walking Drums, which is a place that she had seen on social media. As you can see, guys, like Jakarta has got a very serious pollution problem. Like you literally cannot see further than like 100 to 200 meters, simply because there's this smog in the air that is just ridiculous. Like you literally cannot see anything. There's so much pollution. Another shocking thing that I was really surprised to see was that they've also got quite a lot of water pollution as well. I walked through the sand and basically went to the shoreline, and I was really surprised to see the color of the water. It was super gray and, you know, super murky and super dirty. So yeah, that was a huge surprise. This is the food that we ended up ordering at Walking Drums. I had some Singapore chili crab. Uki obviously had some soup again. And then we ordered a seafood platter. Had quite a few things in there, and we absolutely demolished all the food. We had to go with the coconut water again. You know how I roll, guys. And look, overall, the food was all right. It didn't quite live up to the hype. If I had to rate it out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 6.5. Like it wasn't bad by any means, but it really wasn't the best either. So this is just a quick walkthrough of the vibes at the area. It's a really nice venue, and I can see this place becoming super cool in the future once it actually gets up and running and they get all their stuff together. Later that evening, I got back to my Airbnb and I just did a walkthrough around the pool area because I had never been there and I wanted to see what it looked like, and it looked really great. So day 3 starts off with yet another breakfast order from Grab. This time I went with some salads, and they're actually pretty decent. I spent most of the day indoors just doing some editing and doing some stuff for my business. Later on that evening, my good friend Uki decided to take me to a bar called Henshin, which is supposedly at the Westin, and it is also yet another rooftop bar, and is supposedly one of the best rooftop bars, if not the best rooftop bar in Jakarta. It was quite an experience. As you can see, very dramatic entrance, and it's basically a Japanese style restaurant. They had this massive bar in the middle with their head chef and everyone cooking there for everyone to see. That was a really nice touch. It's a very expensive place, so Jakarta does have some expensive places, guys, but I really like the design of this place. It's very Japanese and it's got these reflections. So basically the design is based around reflections and mirrors and that sort of thing. This is the food that we ordered. So yep, yet again, my good friend Uki went with soup and I just went with some fish, and it was very delicious. It was quite a small portion, it was quite expensive, but I think it's more about the experience. And as you can see here, bar and restaurant is actually situated on the 67th floor, I believe, at the Westin, so it's super high up and you get a massive skyline view of Jakarta city. It's literally one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. This place is amazing. And here you can obviously see the city skyline that I mentioned before. Absolutely beautiful. I had a great time. If I had to rate this place, I'll probably give it 8 out of 10. And that is because it is such a unique experience. Yes, it is on the expensive side, but I feel like the experience itself makes up for it. So this is on the grab on my way back to my Airbnb. And as you can see, it just started raining. Apparently it was rain season in Jakarta, so it just started pouring out of nowhere. So you already know it, guys. Once I got back to the room, I was still quite a bit hungry, so I decided to order more food on Grab, and I ordered some fried chicken, which ended up to be so good. And I was really surprised because they served it with this rice that had like seaweed in it and like sesame seeds and I don't know, just a lot of stuff in it. It was actually super delicious. Day 4, I ended up sleeping in, and Uki actually wanted me to try this really good Indian restaurant that was apparently at this mall called the Bellagio, which is a really super old mall that was deserted.
So apparently we're at a mall that no one likes, that's really old and it's deserted. Like, look at this place, guys. Like, there's literally no one here. Except those 2 kids, of course, but it's just empty. And if you look up there, there's like no one there. All these floors, and it's all empty. The real reason why we're here is we're here for the Royal Kitchen, which is supposedly the best Indian restaurant in this place, apparently, supposedly.
It looked like a really good place, and the atmosphere was really nice. I actually really liked this place. We did what we do best. They actually had a buffet going on at the time. So this is the lady showing me what sort of options they had there. They had quite a few options, a lot of vegetarian options. They had goat, they had like poultry stuff, and they had the, the basic chicken tikkas and the butter chickens and so on. So in the end, we ended up just going for the buffet to get that value for money.
You guys already know I don't play. Went and got myself a big boy plate. Oh, and there's something else over here. I literally have no idea what this is. It's like, it looks like some kind of like potato filled bun with like sauce on the side.
So Uki actually wanted me to try the lamb chops. Apparently they are a fan favorite. I can tell you here right now, they were amazing. I like this place because it was good value for money. The food was good and it wasn't like super expensive too.
I don't know if this is an Indonesian thing, but apparently you also get laundry service and free Wi-Fi in the grocery store. Like, I've literally never even heard of that. That's insane, guys. That is insane.
So before heading back, I just wanted to get a supermarket experience in Jakarta just to sort of gauge what the pricing and how expensive things were in Jakarta. So I just bought a few basic things. 135,000 rupiah for just a few household items, quite a bit cheaper than in Australia, so I wasn't complaining. This is on the way back to my Airbnb.
So guys, this is the most insane thing ever, right? So yesterday I took a Grab from right here where I'm at this Airbnb, basically to this building right here. So basically, as you can tell, it's not a massive distance. Like, it's literally less than like three or so kilometers. And the road that you use is literally just down there, and you just drive up the road like that, go up, and then you take a right, and then you're basically at the building, right? But I kid you not, guys, in the Grab, and because of the traffic and how bad traffic is in Jakarta, the car ride there literally took 15 minutes, which is so insane. Like, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard. It's ridiculous.
So Uki wanted me to try out yet another rooftop restaurant slash bar. The venue for the night was called Chao, which is a Chinese style restaurant rooftop bar. yeah, when we got there, it was vibes. City skyline views, music was great, everyone was having a good time. You already know, straight onto my gin and tonics. And yeah, it was a great night. Spent a lot of money. It was quite expensive. I wasn't expecting that. I think I ended up spending about 200 Australian dollars here for just a couple of drinks and a little bit of food. So this is me back now at my Airbnb. And of course, your boy had to order that chicken one last time. And here's the bill from Chao. And as you can see, well, I ordered 9 gin and tonics Bombay Sapphire, but we ordered just a few finger foods and that was it. And it cost me 210 Australian dollars, which I felt like was quite a lot of money. On my last day, I slept in and of course headed straight to the airport. So this is me heading straight to, and this is the international airport in Jakarta. Basically guys, my entire trip I used my Revolut card. It worked perfectly. It was great. I did not pay for any fees or any banking fees. It worked perfectly fine, and I'll probably leave a review of it in a future video. This is me just hanging out at the Sapphire Lounge at Jakarta International Terminal. Yeah, it wasn't that great, I will admit. It's one of the older lounges. I only paid like half price for it, so I wasn't complaining. This is a quick walkthrough on my way out as I headed to board my plane. So what can I say as I reflect back on my stay in Jakarta? The people of Indonesia are some of the friendliest and welcoming I've seen. I had a great time exploring the few places that I explored. Jakarta is a beautiful city, and I can see why Indonesia is projected to be a top 5 economy in the next 30 years with a capital like this. The city is not perfect though, with emerging issues like heavy air and water pollution. But also the city now faces more concerning issues like flooding, which is becoming a major problem. I came here to discover if Jakarta would be a great place for me to live while I work, fly in, fly out in Australia. And while unfortunately it is not quite the right place for me, it was such a great experience and I will definitely be going back to visit in the near future. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far in the video, you are a real one. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more videos like this, and make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below, guys. Let me know what you think about Jakarta. I'll catch you guys in the next one.